Hi, thank you so much, Aaron. That was a really sweet introduction. It'd be nice to I'll get that on the next book. Firstly, I just wanted to say thank you so much for the kind words. It feels a real privilege to be here this evening reading amongst so many fantastic writers. Poppy, that was fantastic. And I hope you enjoy it. I'm going to read 6 poems from the book. They are, as Aaron mentioned, they are sort of lyrical essays, so they're kind of sort of these little blocks of text. So they're kind of strange, and I try hopefully showcasing a kind of range of them, but we'll see how we get on. So the first poem is called Number One, and it's a sort of mission statement of the collection. Here we go. Ghost Clinic began and is perhaps destined to remain an inscrutable factory, a place to launder the dead, a rumor of emancipation. Ghost Clinic is an overexposed photograph of the vanishing empire. Its inhabitants range from the lawless to the phosphorescent, the terminally ill to those remembered as tantalizing provocations. One might step over the threshold and be welcomed as an estranged friend, or else, like a cool hand drifting over a cylindrical bottle of warm white bees, lose themselves to its shadowy machinations. Ghost Clinic has been missing, privatized, sold off in discrete fragments to the highest bidder. Like a doppelganger engaged in chess, it remains only to be played in the right combination. So that's the first one. So a lot of these poems I was writing, there was mostly through lockdown. I was watching a lot of Friends and lots of reruns of old sort of shows. And that sort of found its way into the collection. I was just thinking about a lot of the, I think on the Thursdays, we're doing, the clapping for the NHS and these sort of gestures that were pointing towards how the sort of state of the country and the way things were. So I tried to kind of balance some of the darker ones with a bit of levity. So I hope you enjoy the next one. This is called Interludes. Probably should have prepared this before. Okay, here we go. Cynthia calls home from the edge of the infinity pool, chinking ice against the receiver. She takes a small knife to the soft rind of a citrus, surrounded by references that can't touch her. Today she felt raw and unloved, like a cursed email chain, still dreaming about black and white Furbies, soft as couture. Sylvia is drinking Arctic water on a California balcony, a locus of palm trees and suicidal ideation. Blood red vine tomatoes wave goodbye from the beds of distant pickup trucks. Nothing is sacred except for rare celebrity sightings. Imagine being the person who develops a photo of Keanu Reeves crying on a roller coaster. Why does the internet always sound like a funeral, like Arthur Russell deep cuts? Disconsolate anthem cued on the Bluetooth speaker. Cynthia applies an exclusive fragrance prepared by Coco Chanel's ghost. Sage, geranium, jasmine, plus bottled mist from Funhouse mirrors. That's that one. This next one is, this next one is about camping in Scotland. So where I lived for 4 years before moving here. So here we go. Objectively fantastic conditions for glamping, for networking intimately with lakes and mountains. Sometimes I suspect I'm ghosting you and then discover we're sharing a thermos of scalding hot coffee in the misty Scottish countryside. Tenderness is an air mattress without the portable pump. It never rises sufficiently for us to reckon with. My only vice is infinite generosity. Give the squirrel some nuts, don't mind if I do. Compliment a babbling brook on its enervating conversation, hell yeah. Call up Mountain Rescue to ask them, and be honest now, do you ever make time to rescue yourselves? I'm not sad, it's this travel-size hairspray that's making me cry. This flushed sunset unfolding delicately beyond the sycamores. While you are low-key storming off, I am trying to gain access to a distant, unreachable meadow, to find for you a single pine cone encrusted with dirt, decay, and dripping with devotion. Next one's about friends. If you could be anyone living or dead, keep it secret. Sometimes it is too bright to get a haircut, so you walk around admiring the clouds and their cumulus trails. You visit Central Perk. Across the imported mahogany counter, you hand the waitress blueprints for a spectacular flat white. Later, you picture a sitcom called Ghost Clinic and present a second blueprint, this time of the director's apartment. Although you donate to the annual benefit, the screenplays don't get any easier. Every single guest star is revealed at once. Various casting directors order them by net worth. Gunther remains encased in shadow. He is handed a hairless cat, and this completes his character arc. Ross becomes lost in the revolving doors. I am drawing nearer to the kind of person who creates elaborate constructions to pave over their personal vacuum. I am feeling about the same as yesterday. I tour the Warner lot, spreading rumours about a Ghost Clinic reunion. When I get home, the laughter tracks some slightly more haunted and nuanced, as if only the sincere fans remain in studio. This is the one where various disembodied voices are conducting a seance in my apartment. That's that one. Next one is about Claude Monet's wife, and it's about the idea of how we sort of immortalize people in history, but it's sort of fed to us in a way that's sort of funneled through the voice of the artist. It's not always true to the person. Okay, here we go. Like birds, we create sublimity from the raw materials of our neighborhood. Claude Monet, recalling his wife on her deathbed, found himself staring at her tragic countenance, automatically trying to identify the sequence, the proportion of light and shade in the colors that death had imposed on her immobile face. His life partner, in her final moments, reduced irrevocably to aesthetic potential. We cannot choose how we remember. In spite of myself, my reflexes drew me into the unconscious operation that is but the daily order of my life. Camille, devoted wife of 9 years, trapped eternally in a daguerreotype of ice of her husband's making, an image fed back to us through layers of distortion. Her expression is serene, resigned, cocooned in huge webs of atrophied snow, often deemed the muse who escaped oblivion. Like Monet, I too am trying to seduce your absence down from orbit into something I can wield, a light bone of language, a painting knife for carving out space between ghosts and goldfinches. That one. Okay, got just one more. Here we go. So this is another one about TV. Here we go. So the one where Chandler is crying actual tears in the gift-wrapped dew. To lighten the mood, he calls his press agent and orders animal balloons to be released into the valley. He tries to locate his car, puffing ice cream-flavored vape smoke into the atmosphere. Grass hairs stand on end. During a full moon, all that drizzle makes for a great compilation tape. He tries to retrieve his priceless Ray-Bans from the soil, where his press agent has buried them before handing in her notice. He looks for an artificial sunrise to drive up into. His press agent appears as an apparition on the hillside, warning Chandler about the price of mercy. It begins to rain crushed Vicodin. No one told him his life would be this way. There we go. Was that 10 minutes? I don't know. Thank you so much. I just wanted to take this opportunity to say thank you to Aaron for taking a risk with this. It's really exciting. It feels still very surreal to have this. And also thank you to Stuart for the lovely words he wrote on the back, and to Steve and Ian as well for their kind words. I can confirm that I was in an emo band and we did play at Zeb's. Thank you for sharing that with the world. We were called Bliss of Serenity, and it was less singing and lots more kind of a sort of screaming, which I think has sort of knocked my voice down a few decibels lower than it would have been otherwise. So I'm a reformed singer, and now sticking with the poems going forward. But thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and that's all from me.